Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory. Today we are going to pick up where we left off before, where we had just built our handy dandy new chainsaw. Ah, yes, it's glorious. I don't currently have any biofuel in my inventory, so we can't use it yet. But I will remedy that shortly, because in today's episode I will be starting to lay out the foundation of our factory. Now what my plan is to clear out this area a little bit here, take down some of these trees that I could not take down before. I think I might leave these two because I kind of like how they look where they are. But I might take down these few trees here, have like a little riverfront factory area. I'll make it a bit more aesthetic. It's not just going to be a big block. I like to make things look nice generally. Oh, there's that thing swimming around in the water. Yeah, this was here when I went to go get that power slug. What is this thing? Did you say? I have no clue what that thing is. There's Copper here. Oh, there he is. He's over there. Yeah, I actually have not seen anything about this guy before. I don't know if he's hostile or what, but anyways, back to what I was saying. I'm gonna start laying out my base. I've just checked my resources. I've got a ton of concrete in my reserve, so that'll be perfect for building some foundations. We're gonna kind of build around this area, and we just gotta get the starting point. I think I might move my hub here, so it'll be a pretty large undertaking, I will say. First, let me go get some fuel from my chainsaw so that we can start the wonderful natural process of deforestation. Yes, we have fuel now. Alright, so I think what my plan is going to be is I'm going to move my hub from where it is currently to about right where I am standing. I want to be able to look out and kind of see this lake here, and then have this river to my right. But that means these trees are going to need to go. Nice thing about the chainsaw is it makes short work of everything. You can chainsaw anything that you can highlight, like to pick up, that's like wood related, like you can chainsaw leaves, and it does it in a bit of a radius around where you chainsaw as well, so you don't have to chainsaw every single individual little tree or leaf. You can just chainsaw one leaf, and then it'll kind of see it does everything in a little radius, and it'll even grab bigger trees. So if I have this little patch of leaves here and chainsaw it, I'll get the tree as well, which is great, but it can be annoying if you're looking to be more precise and you need to get rid of a tree but you don't want to get rid of other foliage. But I guess that's kind of a price to pay for convenience in the long run. So clearing this section out shouldn't be too difficult. It's almost cleared out already. I'm gonna go chop down this bushy here too. This was a barrel nut bush. But you can cut them down as well. Now the game is in early access, so hence why it said not enough space for NA. I don't know what that's going to be in the future. But it's always nice to keep in mind this is an early access, although sometimes it doesn't really feel like it because of how much there is in this game already. Like, I have a save file with almost 10 hours on it in an early access game that I paid $30 for. And I'm not even like 2/3 of the way done, and there's so much more content. Like you could easily get like 20 to 30, 40, 50 hours of gameplay in just this early access with all of the things to do. Just exploring this map alone is immense. So they really hook you up with a good amount of content starting out, which is incredibly refreshing. So I definitely tip my hats to Coffee Stain for really making a nice early access game. Since I just happened to look and check, we've got a lot of materials in our inventory, and we can actually complete this milestone here for the conveyor splitters and conveyor mergers. So that will come incredibly in handy later. So let's go ahead and launch this milestone, and I will keep unlocking milestones in between starting to build out my base, so I will be giving you updates in between building out my base here and milestones.
The productivity display will help you measure and improve the productivity of individual buildings to aid with optimization.
Cool. Alright, so I need to go build myself a little... What are they called? Organization storage container. Goodness. It's been a few days since I've played, so a lot has happened, and I've forgotten some things. I'm going to build a storage container here. Just temporarily to store some items. We're going to do, yeah, we'll just do that, and then I'm going to deconstruct my hub here, which is going to halt production, because that is my only source of power right now. So we're going to go ahead and deconstruct my hub. I've never deconstructed a hub before. It's kind of scary, honestly. Oh, and it's just gone. Okay. Oh, here are those rods that I was missing from like the first episode. I mentioned I had dropped them, and I didn't know what happened to them. Well, that's what happened to them. Alright, so my factory is shut down. I need to go replace this, run some power back over to my factory. I don't know where the pod's gonna return to, because there's no place to return. I really didn't think this through. But I will be curious to see how it handles it. Oh, do I have to rebuild the hub too? Wow, okay. I guess that makes sense. I didn't really think about that. I need to get some higher ground here, just to see what I am doing. Oh, I don't have any concrete in my inventory whatsoever. I should have some in my crate right here. Yes, just enough. So let's go ahead and place a foundation or two. And I believe you can actually jump place. Okay, no you can't. I don't know. I don't even know how that got there. Okay, this should be a decent amount of room. Let's check my hub. The power is going to be on this back end towards me. And I'm going to want this as close to the edge of the water as possible. It's really hard to see. And then off the left side here will be my crafting thing. And then off the right side will just be simply scenic. So this should be good right about here. Let me... Oh, no. It keeps the upgrade. Awesome. Okay, so it stays at a hub tier 5. Oh, this is perfect. Oh, it's just like right on the side of this cliff. Oh, and it lands. It's landing. Oh my gosh, that was perfect. I cannot believe I managed to do that. That's insane. That was completely unintentional, but it worked out way better than I could have imagined. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm floored. My crafting area will be built right off the side of here, and it's just gonna look great. I like how it's just sitting on the edge here with the little stabilizers ever so slightly in the ground. And then I can walk out here, and I've got this beautiful view of the lake and this river right here. This is great. This is the life right now. And we got our little buddy in the water. Still got to figure out what he does. But yeah, that's fantastic. Let me store... So all of this stuff I actually picked up from deconstructing my my thing here, the hub. So let me get my biomass, fill up the biomass burners back here, and we will get this hooked back up to power and civilization. And then if I grab all my resources from here, we should be good to continue on. Take all these. I'm forgetting keys. Goodness, I could not remember the deconstruct button. A good thing they've got that shortcuts in the bottom right. So we're gonna go ahead and pull out some power lines here. I don't have any concrete. That's strange. I thought I had 100 concrete. Is it all in here? Oh yeah, because I did grab it. Okay. Alright, let's try this again. Power line, and then for now, actually, you know what, that's not gonna do. Because I'm gonna start building my foundations actually off of the back of my base here. Like about here. I'm gonna need actually the smaller one. Yes, okay. It's going to need to be, I like it precisely. Oh, clicked the wrong button. Okay, right precise on here, like that. And then one here, and then like I really wish I could do one in there as well. But I think this will need to do. I can probably make like a catwalk or something here once I unlock that later in the game. There's like a sort of catwalk that's like a fourth of the size per piece of one of these platforms. But I think this looks pretty good as is. You know what, I might do a larger platform here because I like to see it actually go into the rock. I don't like there to be any gaps at all. So I'm very particular, and you can be guaranteed this will be a fine looking base when I am done with it. So we've got our biomass burners here. This is looking nice. I'm actually going to take power lines here. Okay, so I can hook them together like that. Oh, that that didn't work as I thought it might. Temporarily, we're gonna see if we can chuck a power pole around here somewhere. It'll be a decent distance, but it can still reach that far. We just do power line to here, and one to here, and then we just need to get one over to here, and it can actually connect. Plenty of room. And my factory should start back up. Oh, once I flip my breaker, yes. Production will resume. Yep, that's connected. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to continue moving my base over piece by piece and start to lay out this foundation. This is going to look so good. I'm really, really, really excited to see where this goes. So I'm just going to continue building this out, and I will be back in a moment. I forgot, I have not actually reactivated a new milestone, so let's see what we have coming up next. The walkways might be handy right now in construction of my base. Eventually we're going to need this parts assembler, but for now I just rather build up my base and then we can worry about this assembler later, so I can figure out the logistics. We're going to select the walkways. I'm going to need 10 reinforced iron plates, 150 iron rods, and 150 iron plates. So I will have to manually craft the reinforced iron plates. But first I'll need to go collect my resources. But now we know what we need. Well, I've made a mistake. Oh man, I was just trying to cut down this one tree, but as I was saying earlier, the radius is a bit wide on the AoE for the chainsaw, and I cut the 2 trees down that I wanted to keep. Very unfortunate. I just wanted to get rid of this one so that I could run this ramp down like I am this one, because this looks just kind of weird as is. Well, I guess I can run my ramps down now, but I don't have any trees, which is, again, unfortunate, but I suppose we will have to live with it. Alright, well, to make the best out of a bad situation, I think the ramp looks pretty cool, leading right down here to the water. Unfortunately, you can't really see it too well because of the pink fog, but it's here, and I think it looks halfway decent, so we're going to keep it as is, really kind of build that factory aesthetic, and maybe someday if we get any water-faring vehicles, then this might be a perfect dock or ramp to launch off of. So I'm just going to continue building up these foundations. This is about where I'm at. So I've got a fairly large plan laid out. Now, I know I said I don't like to make big square things, and it won't be. I just have to lay out my stuff first, see where I'm at, and then go from there. Alright, so I am pretty pleased with my layout currently. Got a fairly decent chunk of land now that I have placed some foundations on, and we're gonna go ahead and start kind of planning out where the conveyor belts are coming from. So currently I know that I've got at least three, whoa, okay, that's just the sun going behind. I thought I saw this big shadow. The moon going behind those rocks, which looks amazing, by the way. But I know I've got 3 sources coming from this direction: my limestone and 2 iron deposits. Alright, so now that I've got my base laid out here a bit, I'm kind of going to think of a mental game plan of what I want to do in the future. I currently don't have them unlocked, but later in the game, very shortly I'm assuming, you can get these walls. Now, these walls just have doors in them, but there is one that you can eventually get that has a place for, like, conveyor belts to hook up to. And there's 1 conveyor belt wall, a 2 conveyor belt wall, and a 3 conveyor belt wall, which is nice because I know I have got 3 conveyor belt sources coming from this direction: my limestone and my 2 iron deposits, and then I've got 1 coming from this way with my copper. So my plan is to kind of build up the wall a bit higher on these sides, have them come in this way, and then I'm going to run them along the walls or above me to put the resources where they need to go. I'm thinking about making my smelters kind of in line with this rock here, so I might have 1 smelter here, or yeah, 1 smelter here, and then the other 3 kind of here. Something along those lines. I think I just need to start building and putting things in their potential places before I can really get a good feel for how this wants to go. It really kind of has to go with the flow in a way. I don't really need to plan out things super heavily, you know. They just I forget who said this quote. It was a famous architect, but it was something along the lines of like, form follows function. So if you make it work, then it will look beautiful in theory. So that's kind of what I'm going for here, is I'm going to make it work and then make it aesthetically beautiful. Look at my beautiful machines glistening in the morning sunlight. It is truly a beautiful sight, watching my ores and my materials all flowing on fluid conveyor belts and being crafted into materials that I may exploit and do with as I please. It is truly a beautiful sight. Hopefully I've got some more iron rods over here. Something you can actually do with iron rods is, since the production of the iron rods only produces 15 per minute, it only takes in 10 iron ore per minute, or sorry, it takes 30 iron ore per minute, produces 30 iron ingots per minute, but the constructor, excuse me, takes 15 iron ingots per minute and produces 15 iron rods per minute. So what I could really do, actually, to make this a bit faster, is build another constructor. I don't have reinforced iron plates. Okay, crafting bench. Real quick here. Place this here. And then we're going to make some of these reinforced iron plates. And I don't have enough inventory space. Oh, this is all going downhill very quickly. Alright, 3. Deconstruct you. Build a constructor. Line it right up with this one. Now, what I can do here is, now that I have the logistics upgrade, I've got conveyor splitters and conveyor mergers. Now there's a trick to these splitters. You actually have to look at the conveyor belt itself, and it will line itself up on the conveyor belt. Now this says this is too sharp of an attachment, which is unfortunate. I'm going to need to go ahead and deconstruct this, and then build this a bit better. So let's make it kind of loop around here a little bit. And then we should be able to split off of this. Too sharp. Did they change this? Used to be able to really put it pretty much anywhere. So let's try this one more way. Try it straight here and then a curve. So let's get my splitter, and okay, now it is happy. So you gotta, the trick to it though, you can see it kind of snap there. Now if you like this isn't gonna work. It looks like it's there, but it's really not. You need to, once my cursor hits the conveyor belt like that, you can see it hooks on, and that's how you do that. So now let's bring out this conveyor belt here and run it into this constructor. Going to make iron rods as well, and this will actually double my iron rod production since I'm utilizing 2 of these. So we're going to make a power line right about here, hook it up, and then over here what I need to do is a merger. So again, you look directly at the belt, not underneath it. This isn't going to work. This will. And then we're going to run our belt here, just into here, and that will merge the 2 lines back up. And now we've got double our iron rod production. So that is a handy tip. Do this as soon as you can. Unlock these mergers and splitters. They are extremely useful. I would highly recommend them. Yeah, now we've got doubled iron rod production. And it's not like you couldn't do this without these splitters and mergers. It just makes things a lot more neat and clean. Like, look at how tiny this setup is for 30 iron rods a minute. Like, I've got everything right here. And honestly, yeah, it could be smaller, but this is already pretty darn compact for, you know, considering what it is. Which is fantastic, because you need a lot of these iron rods. So I'm going to go ahead and manually craft these 10 reinforced iron plates for my walkways milestone and get that submitted. Now we can also take a little look at what I am currently doing over here as far as my base goes. So I'm going to build a foundation over here, one up here, one down here, and then one below that. For the ultimate continuity, we're going to need a I can't sneak one underneath there, but it's going to bother me. We can get a bit better view of what is going on here now that we can get a bit better view here now that it is daylight. I had to do a little funkiness here, but I think it looks alright. I mean, it's not awful. I might take this one ramp out here in favor of some walkways, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it's not too much yet. Just laid out an area, and then I'm going to start bringing in my resources and going from there.
The crystals on this slug can be harvested and converted into a power shard that functions with current fix-it technology. Several buildings would be capable of performing over 100% capacity if infused. The derived blueprint is now accessible in Hub Tier 1.
Alright, so just as a refresher, that green power slug I got from the middle of this lake, I threw into my research MAM right here, and it allows me to unlock this next milestone, which is in Tier 1, overclock production. Which allows you to overclock buildings and build these power shards, which you get by collecting more of these green slugs, which will allow you to overclock most every building to put it over 100% productivity. And this can apply to a lot of things, but it also consumes more power, assuming it doesn't already make power. So it is a extremely useful thing to have. Okay, I have my 10th reinforced iron plate, so I think I should have enough materials here to be able to submit this milestone walkways. Gonna go ahead and launch off
Milestone
right
reached.
on the edge of this
After
lake.
medical consultation, additional buildings aimed
It just
at
looks so
factory
good.
traversal have been
I
added.
love how good this
Walkways
game
can
looks.
now be accessed in the build menu.
How it looks, how it sounds. I love it. I love all of it. I will take every bit of it. And I want more of it. I am very much looking forward to future expansions to this game. Really, anything having to deal with this game coming up in the future. I'm excited to see what they add as far as the technologies go, new milestones, all sorts of things. Now, I have come up with a small idea. I think I might build a bridge over this river here, so that I can actually drive my vehicles over in the future if need be. Alright, so I built a nice simple little bridge over this river here. I think it looks pretty good. I managed to make sure that it does not intersect with the water, which was important to me, so that it looks a bit more believable and more natural, although you can extremely bend the laws of physics in this game as far as realism goes. I don't know. And I've also got another thought right here. I'm gonna build a walkway from my little hub across this little gap. I think that would just look fantastic. And I've got all these new walkway pieces here. So I've got a walkway ramp. It needs a foundation. So I'm gonna go ahead and plop down one of those, just as like a landing point. And then actually from that I will be able to build just fine. So I'll need to do a little bit of trial and error here. But I think this could look just great. Actually, what if we do this? We can make this work. Make this work just nicely. Maybe. Okay, so I'm kind of close to what I want. I'm gonna need to fiddle around with this a bit. So I'll be back when I've got something I'm happy with. Alright, so I have come up with something I deem, you know, it's good. It's not ideal, but if I build this any other way, it gets in the way of my hub and it won't let me build it. So I think for now this is pretty good. I like just having this nice little walkway over. Kind of goes into the sand, almost like you're at the beach or something when the boardwalk or the walkway over the dune kind of gets stuck or buried by sand. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just visit like a beach or look up a picture of a boardwalk beach or something, and you'll see that there is indeed like sand kind of eating up the stairs. It almost looks like. So I kind of like that look, considering this is all sandy here. And it gives me another nice view of the lake here. And I might be able to extend this to wrap around my hub here to this side. I was thinking potentially doing something like that even. The possibilities are truly endless. So I can choose any manner of things I would like. Alright, so this is what I was talking about earlier about those conveyor walls. I'm going to go ahead and select this milestone, and I've got all the materials in my inventory right now, so I will go ahead and submit this.
Milestone reached. To ensure optimal use of space, navigation and tidiness, R&D have developed stairs and conveyor wall.
Excellent. So now I've got access to these conveyor walls. So my idea was so now that I've got access to these conveyor walls, my idea is to have a wall here like so, and I don't actually want this to look too much like a dungeon, so we're just gonna do like that, and then we'll have the iron sources coming in, or we could even do it, I think it would look better this way and it would kind of flow better. So we'd have our limestone and our iron coming in through this window, and then if we get the conveyor wall 1, we'll have a copper coming in through this window. And then I can place down some smelters just to get an idea. of where things are going to go. So let's say one smelter here. Another one here. And another one here. One for each iron. And then I don't have the materials for a constructor right now. But again, just planning ahead. And then as far as my power grid goes, I like these to be nice and spaced and symmetrical and making sense. So I'm just gonna hook everything up as I would. Look at our guys already back, so we can probably turn in another milestone real quick. So I've got those all prematurely, but planned, hooked up. My words are not working well tonight. I've got these hooked up in preparation for what is to come. Let's go take a look at the resources, grab some more. By the way, I just refilled my biomass burners both here and at my hub. My inventory isn't too full, so I can grab a lot of resources. Look at how many more iron rods we have now that we've upgraded it to double capacity. Concrete, I just need a little bit more of. I've already got a good amount in my inventory. We'll take another stack and a half of those and some more of these. See what's next on the milestone list. So yeah, this is shaping up pretty nicely. I think I would like to just AFK and let my materials over there build up a bit so that I've got a good amount stocked up before I deconstruct everything and then find out I have to rebuild some of my manufacturing process before I am ready to, which would not be ideal. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead, let that build up, maybe sculpt my base here a little bit, kind of get an idea of what I want it to look like. And then I will be back with the next update once I have submitted another milestone. So we've got personal storage here, overclock production, part assembly we can turn in, jump packs, the color gun. Let's just finish up tier 1 while we're here. So go ahead and deposit these.
Milestone
And
reached.
I will go
Additional
ahead
storage options have been provided.
and see you
R&D
in a bit
inflated
once
your
I've
pocket dimension
done
and
a few more
developed a
things
personal
around the
storage
base.
box accessible in the build menu.
Alright, welcome back. I'm going to show you what I've done so far. Base is starting to take shape a bit here. I've got some walls up, I've got some walkways. I've got a walkway kind of going around my perimeter here and leading to my manufacturing currently. And then if you follow this, there's a nice little door around the side here. I've kind of started to erect a wall above this massive ramp going to the ocean. There's another door here into this area. Got some walls. These are the 3 conveyor belt walls, but they kind of look like windows, so I've decided to keep those. We're at the hub. We have a little walkway going around the hub, and then I redesigned this bridge a little bit so that it links up here with my walkway, which I think goes pretty flawlessly into my base, so that's nice. And so yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. I'm probably going to end up building more of these walkways around, because I just really like how they look and they're fun to build. So with that, I would like to thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you have a fantastic day.